I might be thinking wrong about this, but I think, does alcohol affect HRT? Yes, alcohol can affect hormone replacement therapy by impacting liver function and potentially altering hormone levels. Excessive alcohol consumption can reduce the effectiveness of HRT and even worsen its side effects.
Huh?
Yeah. So that's also another thing that I thought was a thing. I just wanted to double check in case I was just thinking it was and it wasn't. So
Yeah.
I try not to, but usually when I do my HRT stuff, it's usually during the day, and then by the nighttime when I'm about to go to bed, it's never usually too bad because all the stuff has sort of already gone into the system. But yeah.
You probably should make sure if that's talking about long-term alcohol use or if it's talking about immediate alcohol use, because my thoughts would be maybe it's more of a long-term thing. Because then it doesn't really matter how long after, even if it's like a day after, you know?
Yeah, so liver function, alcohol is metabolized by the liver, which can compete with the liver's processing of HRT medications.
Okay.
Which is usually the T blocker, my spirulactane. Hormonal imbalances. Alcohol can disrupt the body's delicate balance of estrogen and other hormones, which can be particularly relevant for women taking HRT, as it can potentially increase breast cancer risk. Increased risk. Studies have shown that women on HRT
So that would be long-term, that one.
who also drink alcohol regularly, may experience a higher risk of breast cancer, blood clots, and other complications. Side effect amplification. Alcohol can amplify some of the side effects associated with HRT, such as headaches, nausea, diarrhea, and anxiety. Okay, yeah. Effectiveness of HRT. Drinking can weaken the impact of HRT treatments, making it less effective. Recommendations. Moderate consumption. If you're taking HRT, it's generally recommended to limit alcohol consumption to moderate levels or even avoid it altogether. So my half when I do have my alcohol, I usually have half the amount I normally would in it, and I only have one glass. So I'd say that's less than moderate, right? Like that's moderating it to a minimal level, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I can also, if I decide to drink that day, just to be like, I'll skip on the HRT today and I'll just continue it tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think skipping is ever gonna I don't know if skipping it's ever gonna help, but you know.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it's good to skip or not, or how bad.
It's not too bad. If you miss one day, it's fine. It's only if you just started out and you start skipping. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like if you just started your HRT and you've been on it 3 days and you skip a day, that can really affect the next week's worth of HRT treatment. It basically feels like you wasted the first few medications. To me anyway. That may not be true. I'm not a doctor. But I've been doing it. See, with my first journey of it, I remember, I think I was talking to you guys about it early on when I had the issues with the patches when they weren't stocking them for the next 3 to 6 months, and I was like, I just started and I had 3 weeks on, and now I've got 6 months off, so I need to talk to my doctor about getting changed over to gel and all that kind of stuff, and it really had me down in the dumps because my mental started changing off of it. And then got it fixed, and then I was on and off it because I couldn't afford it at the time, and then I could afford it, and it was a little jumpy there, but after a few months, I've been on it every day since then, and I maybe missed, after 6 months of doing it, I've maybe missed 3 to 4 days of putting it on time, but I've still put it on in that day. And then within that time, I've maybe forgot to put it on 2 days, 3 days. Very far spread apart, which hasn't really affected it because, again, talking about HRT here, my areas that get affected by HRT have definitely been growing and are extra sensitive or whatever. So it's definitely taking effect, which is really good to know. Like, it's definitely good to feel the difference, which is great.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
I was gonna say I'm glad to hear that, because I know that for some people it takes longer for HRT to start kicking in and stuff like that than others.
I'm actually quite surprised at my age that it's taken effect this quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Normally it wouldn't.
Yeah. I imagine it's much more effective when you're younger, right?
Yes, it's usually better if you start off younger, but so people out there's people that have started at 30 and they look like they started at 18. You know what I mean? Like, mind you, don't get the illusion and don't romanticize it. HRT can be difficult. And a lot of people that post about it online and have look really hot online and Twitter and everything like that usually have help by having a decent amount of money to help them along.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it's romanticized. Don't get the illusion that it's going to happen that easily or you're going to look that good within a year. Do not get that. Unless you're insanely rich, that won't happen in a year.
Yep. Actual good advice.
Yes. See, Cynthia, for me, I'm lucky I have the genetics of my family of having decently sized breasts. So, and also rather attractive women within my family, which is nice to know.
Person basically different than others. Yeah. Like, it is, from what I understand, it's basically like a second puberty, right?
Yep. You've also just got to realize that on HRT, you will gain more weight a lot more quickly, a lot easier. But you gain it within certain areas easier, and it's harder to lose it in those specific areas, like your butt, your thighs, your hips. And it's usually, if you start exercising, what you want to try and do is target specific areas. So there are feminine muscle groups that you can target for your exercises if you want those areas to look good and stay nice. Yeah. So just make sure to maintain a healthy diet while you're doing it, honestly. Plenty of chicken. Chicken is usually good for you because it's, out of most of the meats, it's got the most estrogen within it. So the food, basically, when you're eating chicken, is more likely to go to those areas, like target those areas that you're looking for.
Interesting.
As they say, chicken thighs go to the thighs, chicken breast goes to the breast, you know?
So does chicken legs go to the legs? Chicken wings?
I'd say,
Chicken
yeah,
wings?
I'd say it probably goes to the legs, you know, and the wings probably go to, you know. Where would you consider the wings? Would you consider the wings the hips?
Well, I mean, the wings are arms, right? So I guess.
Yeah, but women don't really gain much in the arms in general.
Pray for big.
I pray for big booba for you too, Cynthia.
It's Cynthia. We all pray. We
Prage.
pray for your big booba.
Prage.
Prage. Any other HRT
All I can say
advice,
is,
Sooky?
squats are your best friend. And regular walks. You know, start off with 10-minute walks in the morning if you're not comfortable with walking, and then eventually do 2 lots of 30-minute walks in a day. So do one in the morning and one in the afternoon or evening. I would if I had people to do it with, but unfortunately my like borderline agoraphobia stops me from going out alone. There's also a few ones where like, you know how frogs sit, you know, when they're about to hop, they have their legs like up and whatnot. So what you want to do is, like, what I've been told is you want to have it so you have one leg laying straight down and then one leg up like a frog has their leg, like in that sort of like almost bent like a chicken wing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
And then you flatten your body out, you flatten that out along the ground, and then you move your other leg up while the other one goes down, and do the same with that. Press down into it. That's usually good for the hips, for the legs. Because if you don't get on top of it, HRT can also really make your joints fairly sore if you don't use them enough. So usually you want to make sure they're good.
Gotta do the exercises.
Yep. There's a few YouTube tutorials that you can look at, like targeting feminine muscle groups, and it'll pop up there if anyone's interested.
HRT advice, everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all from me. That's all I know to really talk about right now. And if you're a femboy, you can do the same. Target the same feminine areas.
True.
It's not specific to HRT or trans individuals.
Yeah. Definitely should be doing like squats and stuff. And
if you are uncomfortable with doing squats because you don't know how to do it, you can literally do exercises with your chair behind you. Once you feel your butt touch the seat of your chair without fully sitting down on it, that's when you lift yourself up. The one thing people do wrong with squats is they just lift themselves up with their legs. You want to squeeze your butt and try to use your butt to help you push up out of the squat. That's how you get a rounder butt, like a much nicer butt. Most people don't realize that. If you use your legs, then obviously your knees and your thighs are what gonna get defined, not your butt. Usually you want to use the squats to get your thighs and butt. So you know how if you're sitting on your chair and you're like, you sort of just like clench your butt, like, and you're just like, that's the kind of clench you want to be doing when you go to lift up, like, you go, there we go. You know.
All right, I'm clenching.
Clenching. Okay. You can also do that while you're just sitting in your chair, like 10 clenches, like every couple of hours, can really help. Just sitting. You can do it when you're standing, when you're brushing your teeth in the morning. Clenches are an exercise because you're working the muscle group.
Gotta clench it.
Yep. And trust me, when they get stronger, it'll actually help the squats because it'll be easier to do it. The more you do it.
True. Yeah. I'll try and keep that in mind from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been meaning to do my hand exercises for a while, but like I'm always like afraid I will like overdo it on the hands or something while doing the exercises or something.
Yeah. And that is fair.
Because unfortunately, I have to work, so like I've learned to always stay on the side of caution when it comes to exercises for my hands and arms, because last thing what happened is me being unable to work, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Mhm.
completely understandable.
Yeah, because if I don't work, then we ain't got no money. Got no money means.
And that's the good thing about you know, just doing squats
Yeah,
and clenches, you know?
and we can do squats. If you have our problem like me. But yeah, what else have I, Was that it for the HRT advice, Sooky?
Yeah.